Like, at what point do you decide this is too big? Hi everybody, welcome to the show. This is episode 53, November Finished Projects, with my co-host, Brianna of Tarth. She's trying to eat my yarn. She was sitting right there with Tormund and being a good girl. And then I came in here and she was like, "What are you doing?" Oh, look. Hello, neighbor. It's my neighbor, Chuck. He is hilarious. He is a, he's retired, but he used to coach one of our local high school, was it football? Anyway. So, like, he'd have people over his house all the time, like, for football things, like, planning, so whatever they do, you know. And now, for some reason, okay, he's unmarried and he's retired, okay? He's unmarried, and for some reason, he's been having women over, and I don't know why, like, multiple women at a time. So, I don't know what's going on over there. But I will tell you, he has never spoken to me, and we've been here since we moved in 2013, so however many years that is. 8? 9? 8? I don't know, however many. 13 to 11, right? Okay, so anyway, he has never spoken to me. I've never initiated a conversation, but he has never spoken to me. But if my husband's outside, he will talk to my husband, and it's the most infuriating thing to me. That he won't talk to me when he talks to my husband. I don't think he's a bad guy. I just don't know what his deal is. So anyway, that's my neighbor, Chuck, and he's real good about it. He doesn't complain about the dogs. Doesn't complain about anything. Like, he's like the only cool neighbor we have. Plus, he doesn't have kids that, you know, scream outside my window at 8 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, okay, so some updates for stuff, and then something I want to talk about before we get into things. Lola went back to the vet today, and we were doing her, did I tell you she has a treatment-resistant bacteria on her stomach? It is little pustules on her stomach. Her skin. It's just skin. It's not like in her body. It's just on her skin. And they had to culture them because she was on 3 rounds of antibiotics. It didn't work. So they finally cultured it, and it came, like, I guess the lab that cultured it gives them a list of antibiotics that will kill it. And for this particular organism, the antibiotics are really harmful for Lola to be on. And he was like, let's not do this just yet, because there were things like she'd have to have her liver function tested on a regular basis, and the other pill was used a long time ago, and it's fine for, I believe it was a horse medicine first. And the harm actually comes to the humans from handling the pills. And since she's so small, they do this all day long. Since she's so small, the pills, the smallest dose of pill would have to be cut into quarters, and I couldn't do that because it would be a risk to me. So he was going to personally cut them, and then I would have to handle them with gloves. But it's okay for her to have it, which I don't know how that works. But anyway, instead of going through all that, he said, let's just do medicated baths and see if we can get control of it that way and see if we can kill it that way, because the bath is made from chlorhexidine, chlorhexidine. I call it chlorhex because we've been dealing with it for years because my other dog has a skin allergy that we couldn't figure out. So a lot of times he has to get sprayed down and wiped off when he comes, in from outside. So we've been doing the chlorhex baths every third day, and I bring her in. Like, it's so funny because I go there at like 8:30 in the morning and someone comes out and get her, and they call it a run back. So they literally take her, run her back to see him. He looks at her. It says, come back in 2 weeks. And they run her back out to me. And that's it. They don't charge her for it, nothing. And it's like 5 minutes. Like, literally, they come in, they take her in, they come back out. Like, it's really funny. But it's always at 8:30 in the morning. And I'm like, you're killing me with these 8:30 in the morning. So we were just there this morning. I'm a little slap happy because I am so tired because that kitten kept me up all night. I also got my third COVID shot right there next to I don't know why they did it right next to my mole. I can see the hole. I've been having some pain. Not as bad as the second shot, I'll tell you that. Not as bad. So anyway, we have to keep going with the medicated baths for Lola, but now it's once every 10 days instead of every third day I was doing baths. So now it's every 10th day. And then I got to bring her back after 2 more baths, I guess. And hopefully it'll be done. Loli, come here. Is she bugging you? Come here. Do you want to sit on my lap? Come here. Come here. Brianna is obsessed with Lola and thinks it's fun, as Tormund did, to make Lola growl. So Lola doesn't like her too much. But Tormund likes her, and that's the whole reason she's here. Did you see the whole interaction? You should probably rewind and watch it, because they do that all day long. They are just, stop eating my robe. Kittens are the worst. They are not the worst. Puppies are the worst, then kittens. Because kittens at least are litter box trained. A puppy at her age would still be going to the bathroom all over the floor. And eating everything. I mean, granted, she doesn't really eat stuff that's not hers. Anyway, hi, how are you doing? I'm wearing Shawlography, which, as crazy as it looks when it's all spread out, does not look that crazy when you're wearing it. And I absolutely love mine. And yeah, I think it's great. We're going to finish the, I do have some I got some finished stuff, but we're going to hold that to the end because today is November finished objects. This is finished objects and then planning projects. I try to make them different, even though it doesn't matter because like 10 people watch my show, right? So I'm probably going to leave all that in for you 10 people to watch. And then I'll have like nobody watching my show. Where's Kitty go? Is she sleeping? Do you want to go sleep in your bed now? Do you want to go sleep in your bed? Okay. So let's start with whips. I have 2 whips. The first one I'm going to show you, this is my Whimsy Stitches bag, is linked below. It's perfect for one skein projects. I use it all the time. You probably always see that one. I am making my, again, my double layer hat with the 8, it's a start with a pinhole, and it has 8 stitches and then 8 increases for this pinwheel thing. It doesn't look like a pinwheel when you're done, though. I mean, I'm wearing exactly this. Oh my god, this is exactly what I'm wearing, is this. But this is from Dyer Supplier, and this is from Wool to Die For. This is a hat from my husband. This is MCN sock base, merino cashmere nylon. I just started, I dyed this last month. I think I showed it to you. So this is just how far I'm past all the increases, and we'll just work until we get, I think we went to, oh my god, I didn't write it down. Of course I did. I did not write that down. Write everything down. Okay, started at 8 stitches and went up to 144, which is what my sock head is at. So it gives me this kind of fit, like it's nice and not, it stays on, but it doesn't like smush you, I guess. But if you had a bigger head, my head is 21 inches around. So if you had a bigger head, I would probably do a couple more increases maybe. So what I did is I weigh the skein before I start. I do all my increases and then I weigh the skein again. So this whole increase portion took 9.15 grams. So I'm going to work the skein until I have about 9.15 grams, and then I'm going to close it up. I'll start with the decreases and work it backwards. You know what I mean? And this is for my husband, because he buys all his hats at like the dollar store, and he's like, oh, these hats are awesome. And I'm like, no, they're not. I'm going to make you a cashmere hat and you're going to like it. Okay, my second whip is, you have seen this wool before. This is from KnitCrate. This is Audine Wool's Sleek. Colorway is Utopia. It is 55% fine merino wool, 30% baby alpaca, 15% mulberry silk, 220 yards per 100 grams. Now, you read 30% baby alpaca, right? Okay, so, well, no, I hate alpaca. Hate alpaca. It's warm and it's soft, but it never gives me a tight weave. So, I started making this as a sweater for Lola. They can't see you. You're too low. Come up a little bit. Come here, baby. Come here, pretty girl. No, I can't see you. Okay. So, I started making a sweater for Lola. On my regular, because she gets sweaters out of worsted weight only. I only make her sweaters out of worsted weight. And the fabric was too loose, I think, because of the baby alpaca, because alpaca never wants to be tight for me. So what I did was, I decided, even though this is worsted weight, 220 yards per 100 grams, total worsted weight, I decided to do it on my DK weight pattern using the stitch counts and the needles that I use for DK weight yarn. And that's because I'm getting a better fabric. See, it's not wholly, it's a pretty good fabric. Even when I stretch it out, it's okay. And I think that's just because the baby alpaca just never works for me. I always have to go way, way down a size. So I also had the idea, okay, so I have 2 skeins of those. And usually the tops take 150 grams instead of 200 grams. So this should leave me with the same yardage of 230 to 230, you know, because it's 230 and I get 150. So I should have like about 100 grams, about 100 yards left over. So I'm thinking, because I have that wool of the Andes that I have 200 grams of, because when you buy it from Knit Picks and it's already dyed, it comes in 50 gram balls. But if you buy it bare, it comes in 100 gram skeins. So I have 200 gram skeins that's bare that I can dye myself. And then I have 3 50 gram balls for the tops. And the tops are a little bit big, like I've said. So what I'm going to do, if this works, because I think this will work, I'm going to take the 200 grams of bare wool of the Andes, and I'm going to make that at the DK and see if that takes care of my it's too meshy, too holy thing. Does that make sense? Okay, anyway. Those are my only 2 whips because we're at the end of the month. Oh, actually today's December 1st, right? So we could start, we can start my thing today, can't we? Yes, we can. So our first thing, by the way, I found my extra ball of yarn that I thought, I was like, there's no way I bought 3 balls of yarn, because I wouldn't, because I'm one of those people that likes even numbers, so I'm not going to buy 3, I'm going to buy 4 and 2, which is exactly what I did. I bought 4 balls of the black and 2 balls of the green. So I wanted to show you. This is for that perfectly whatever it is. Oh my God, go back in there. It's for the Magic Custom Fit Raglan sweater by Danielle White, which last time I called her Daniel. I'm sorry, Danielle. This is Baracco something. Baracco Ultra Wool Chunky. I'll show it to you in a minute. This was from when my local yarn shop went out of business. So this is going to be made. So I have 4 black, 2 greens, which would be fine. So I'm going to make it black until the bottom, and then the bottom will be green. I'm thinking of doing like the Witchling basically in bulky, if this works out. I am going to try to do a V-neck. Maybe. I haven't quite decided yet. But I'm going to try to like work those 2 in. So this is how you do the gauge swatch. So you do, I did 2 because, excuse me, I'm sorry. Lola is sleeping in my lap and she does not appreciate having a strand of yarn drop down on her. So I did the 2, I did 6, 5 and a 6. I don't remember. One of these is a 6 and one of these is a 6.5, which doesn't matter because I got the same gauge on both. Whatever. So I think I'm going to go with the smaller one just because. So I'm also, this whole episode is a train wreck. This is getting started probably tomorrow because I don't think my brain is in the right space for it right now. I know. Can you go lay down in your bed here? I'm pretty sure she's off sleep. There you go. Good girl. So, I'm going to wait on that because that actually ties into squishy mail. I have some squishy mail, so let's do that first, and then we'll do finished objects. So remember the Brianna reunion Capelet? I frogged that. Remember we had 5 balls of the chunk? Now that chunk I decided I'm going to make something with, and I'm making a gauge swatch right now. Like literally I was just doing that. So I got this I got all this at Love Crafts. Novita Super Chunky Natural Collection by Novita. It is Huga, that's how you say this, Huga, right? Huga wool. Okay, here's what I did. Remember I told you I made this before, and I made the Capelet before, and the yarn I used I loved, but I didn't love the colors because 2 of the skeins were black, I dyed black, and the other 2 were like a black cherry, and I didn't want to dye the black cherry, but it didn't look good together. So I got this, which is, it's just gray. It looks gray and white, but it's really not. It's just gray. Well, I guess it kind of, it's a single, it looks like a single ply. It's not very, it looks exactly like the yarn I used. It has the same yardage to 100 grams. 65. So my other one was 66. It's fine. So I think this is going to work really well. So I have 4 of these, which is less than what I used for the other one. I think gray will be okay wearing over black stuff, right? However, the thing I wanted to make, I want to make more than I want to have this. So I think I'm going to make the other thing. Okay. I wanted to make this capelet to wear over a certain sweater, the Zephyr, which I haven't made yet. So that's why I'm like still hedging on this, is that I haven't made the Zephyr yet. So there's no point because I want to make this with the Zephyr and I haven't made it yet. But I still, if I get like frustrated with a project, I'm just going to do this because this I know can be done in 2 or 3 days. Do you think the gray is okay? Because in my head, I'm like, you can over-dye this. And I'm like, good Lord, woman, will you just let it be gray? Like, just let it be gray. It's fine. Right? Not everything has to be black. Okay. So I saw this shawl on Instagram. It is called the Burdock Shawl by Fox and Folk. It is $5.50. I'm trying to do this so you don't get that glare in there. Do you see how gorgeous this is? Now, mind you, she kept saying the model is only 5 feet tall, so it looks kind of bigger than it. But look at that applied edge is just gorgeous, and I love this down the middle. Okay, so I actually ordered the yarn that this called for because I hate myself. Because it's Morocco Ultra Alpaca. Just like 2 of my least favorite yarn company and my least favorite fiber, right? So this is 50% superfine alpaca and 50% Peruvian wool. Oh, Peruvian. Oh. I like it even more now. So I got 2 undyed skeins for the applied border. I actually asked her because it calls for 6 skeins. And I said, are 4 for the main color and 2 for the border? And she said yes. So I bought black because Morocco does do a great black. Great inky black, gorgeous black, like Cascade, a great black. In the last like 5 years or so, they've gotten better about their blacks, I have to say. Because it used to be, not Morocco specifically, but yarn companies in general have gotten better about their blacks. They used to be kind of washed out, and I've noticed now that they're getting really deeper blacks. It's okay for us goth girls of the world. So I've decided that shawl is going to be black. Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know what the edge is going to be yet. No idea. But I couldn't make a decision, so I just got bare, and I was like, I'll figure it out later. So we could even do a variegation, or we could do speckled if we want, whatever we want to do. So this is going to be a future dye project. Might be February's. I don't know. It's not January's because I already have January's. So this is going to be a dye project. I hate these bags. So that is all the squishy mail I bought this week. I haven't even been buying anything because I've been trying to use up stuff. So, okay, so oh, I forgot what I was supposed to tell you. What I was going to tell you is remember the chunk that I had used before I bought this, the chunk I had used to make the reunion capelet. I have 5 skeins of that in bulky. So if you remember this time last year, Knitpicks put this out. It's they call it a cape, and it's like a poncho with these cut out for like slits. They're just slits. My problem is that is too much stuff for me. And the back is like all basket weave, and I'm not doing cables. But in their thing, they have the schematic. Okay, see that schematic? Because I want to do this kind of... Okay, here's what I like about it. First of all, it looks warm, doesn't it? So I actually like that turtleneck because it doesn't look strangly. But I want my slits to come up a little higher. I want my slits to come to the elbow at least. So it would come like just to the below the bust, and then split for well, wherever mine is, then split for sleeves right there. That's not a hard pattern because I'm just going to do it in stockinette with probably some twisted rib. That's what I'm thinking, is twisted, like a twisted rib for the neck, and then twisted rib at the bottom, and then just stockinette for everything else. That's what I'm thinking to do with that chunk. That's like a purpley gray. Do you remember? I should have brought it in here, but I didn't because I had a million other things to bring in here. So that's what I'm thinking of making, and I'm thinking of using that magical custom fit raglan and doing raglan, and then just working even until I get to that sleeve so I can have that kind of fit there. But I'm gonna wait till I do the Barocco Ultra Wool one to make sure that fits the way I want it to before. But that's my plan, is to make that thing out of the chunk because it looks warm. And like today when I was going to the vet, and I was like, my winter coat is wool, and it's felted wool, and it's really, really heavy. It's so heavy. It's really warm, and it's great when it's snowing, but like when it's not snowing and it's just cold, I want something like I can throw over my sweaters and just go. So I was like, that chunk would be good over sweaters to just like go to the vet, throw on a shawl if I need to, but it already has that, giant turtleneck. And in the chunk, because it's bulky, I don't think it'll be as heavy. You know what I mean? I don't think it'll be as heavy. So that's my plan with the chunk. Does that make sense? Okay, so now November, finished objects. In November, we made 2 tops out of wool of the Andes. This is already pilling, you guys. Like, serious. It is already, and I have some of these that I wear all the time that don't ever pill. So for this to be pilling right off the bat is kind of worrisome. I mean, not bad pilling, but for sure noticeable pilling. And I have a gleaner, so it's fine. But I was like surprised. I wore this like maybe 4 times. And then I just finished, this is Jurassic, which is that clay green, like a clay green, like clay that you put on your face, green. Beautiful color. Absolutely love it. Reminds me of like dirt or something. And this is Nightshade Heather, which is like, what did we decide? Dark cherry with red and black heathering. And this is my favorite burgundy color in the whole world. Every burgundy should look like this. I would be so happy. So we did 2 tops. the Shawlography, and I finished my 2 skein Cash Aaron double layer hat, and I left some stuff in it to show you. First of all is the pinwheel at the top. You can see that is the decreases. So that's the decreases. It gets a little pinwheel and then the pinhole in the top. So what I did is I took the pinhole from the beginning, which you just saw earlier. I take that and I pull it up through the center, and then I pull it up through this center before I close the last 8 live stitches, and then I thread that with my end piece, and I thread it through the last 8 stitches twice before I pull it tight, and then I push it back into the hole, and then I pull it in between the holes, and then I knot. I pull them out and I knot them, and then I put them back in, and then I will cut them eventually. So here's the inside of the pinhole cast on, and my end sticking out. So here's my beginning end, and here's my ending end. So I used up a whole lot of the skate. I could have got a couple more stitches in, but I wanted to show you where this is, where the stitches, the new stitch and the last stitch and the first stitch of the end of the skein and the beginning of the skein, and then where I started the decreases for the hat. And it's just like this one. It is a huge, and it is very big. So you could wear it like down. I like it this way. It's almost like a hood, but look at how big this is. I probably could have, I don't even know if I remember, what did I say, 104 I went to? Yeah, 104. So I probably could have gotten 96, maybe even 88 with how big this is. You can also, like, but then you look ridiculous. You can't pull it down, like, ugh. You can pull it down and then fold the brim up, which would be super warm if you're stuck like in a snowstorm. So I think I like it oversized like this because I am cold all the time, and I wanted this for outside, for, you know, when it's snowy and icy, because it gets really, really cold here. So it really gave the 2 skeins really gave us really halfway. Still though, what size needle did I use? 4.5? Yeah, 4.5. And so I think 96 was too many. Or 104 was too many stitches. Probably could have gone down. Yeah. But it's super warm. And really fuzzy, and I feel kind of like a Smurf. I don't think it looks terrible. Do you think it looks terrible? I had a hard time blocking it because my head blocker was too big for my head blocker that I usually put on my hands. And I'm like, oh no, this is way too big. So it is long. It is long. So you wouldn't necessarily need, you know, I could put my entire finger in there. So you wouldn't necessarily need 2 full skeins. You could probably do it with a and a half, maybe. If you went down to, like, what I say, 96 or 88, you could probably get away with a skein and a half. I know. I've already redone this, so I really don't want to redo it again, but it literally took me like 2 days. So I actually might... Like, at what point do you decide this is too big? Like, Like, at what point are you like, yeah, that's too big? I don't know. I haven't decided. I think I'm going to wear it for like when it's real cold, and then I'll decide if I'm going to, you know, if I do redo it, it'll be like in the summer or something where it doesn't matter. I always put in a lifeline. This is crochet thread. I always put in a lifeline before I start decreases, just in case because I did have to go back and read. I ran out the first time. So yeah, I'm going to wear this for a bit and see if it has to be, redone. Maybe. I don't know. So we made 2 tops. Shawlography was really finished at the beginning of the month, wasn't it? I mean, we didn't get that much done. That's a shawl, a capelet, a hat, and 2 tops. So that's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's still a lot. 5 items is still a lot of things to do. Plus, considering how many of these I did twice. Did the hat twice. I did the hat like halfway, I think. And then I was like, yeah, this is too dense. So 5 items for a month is still good. I'm mad that we didn't get any sweaters done, because that was my whole purpose of last month, was to get a sweater done. So I think I'm going to start sweater tomorrow. I had, like I said, I have my 3rd COVID shot on Monday. Today's Wednesday. And I had like a sore arm, like that, starting that night, Monday night. And then yesterday at night I started to not feel very well. But I've been taking Tylenol the whole time, and that helps so much to take Tylenol, but my arm is still hurting. But it was not at all as bad as my second. Not at all as bad as my second. My second one, I felt like crap. Do you remember I was banging the Tupperware on the floor trying to get my husband to wake up to open the Tylenol bottle for me? Oh, I felt like such crap that day. But then the next day I was fine. So this one isn't, it was less, but it came on later and is lasting a little bit longer. Also, I took a shower last night, a hot shower last night, and that can also make me not feel well. So that could have also been what made me not feel good last night. I don't know, because with chronic illness, there's a lot of things that make you not feel good. So I'm just glad it didn't send me into a flare, because I really thought it was going to send me into a flare, and it didn't, thank goodness. But I do recommend planning for it, and I recommend that you have foods that you want to eat, because if you're like me, when I don't feel good, I don't want to eat. So like I had to make me Jell-O, and here's the thing. He forgot that last week was Thanksgiving, so he couldn't go. He usually goes grocery shopping on Thursday, so he couldn't go grocery shopping on Thursday. So I had a plan of food I wanted in the house for my shot that I knew I would eat, which was turkey bacon, Jell-O, cinnamon rolls, donuts. The only thing we had was a bag of those mini powdered donuts. Thank God we had those, and the Jell-O and noodle soup. So I was okay, but I'm still mad I didn't have cinnamon rolls. Because that's what I really wanted. Anyway, if you typically have, issues after you get a vaccine, I would make sure you have some comfort things for you. And then I started this top because I was making myself anxious after, when we came back from getting it, I was already anxious because I was like, oh my God, this is going to send me into a flare. And all I had to work on was his hat, which is just stockinette in the round, which is so easy. And I'm like, this is mindless. So I'm like, I'm going to start a top. in my favorite color, and it did make me feel better. So let's see where we are. We are November finished. Next week is December dye project. We have an extra episode this month, and I know what it's going to be. I'm just not sure where I'm going to put it, because if I put the planning January projects, that's going to put us way ahead. But I think we're going to do that anyway. I don't know. I'll decide what we do. Probably that day. Or that Monday. Usually that Monday I start going, oh, we should probably start planning for the show. What's going on? Okay, so next week is a dye project. And we already have dye project planned. I don't have it in here. But it is that double skein, which one skein is mohair and the other is single ply merino. And we're going to be dyeing those a matching color. And then we're going to the Espis tricot pattern, the cowl, the funnel neck cowl. Like, what are we making with that? I don't remember. So I guess I changed what I was going to make the chunk out of, because last time I said I was going to make that shawl, and now I'm saying I'm going to make that like poncho looking thing. Because I really do like that shawl though, but we'll see, I guess. We'll see. Because that's not even going to happen this month anyway. That's just, everything hinges on our ultra, what is this? I keep forgetting the name of it. Ultra wool chunky. Everything depends on how this sweater comes out. If this sweater comes sweater comes out, I'm thinking of making it like the Witchling, like making it like that one, how that starts, because that starts with a twisted rib. So I'm thinking of starting that with twisted rib and doing a regular crew neck. I gotta read through this pattern and see how that works, because I know it does build up the back, so the back is higher than the front. Because I hate those. Those make me cold. Like, the cold air goes right down your back. Hate those. And then I'm hoping I can get the Witchling in or I might just graph something, to be honest. I might just graph something. Who knows? I don't know. But I'll probably try the Witchling in it. Just because. Right? See if that works. So yes, December dye projects. We will have dye project done. I'm going to dye the that pumpkin spice everything. See if we can get that burgundy or black. And there's that bulk yarn I wanted to make an ear warmer out of, bulky mohair. And and the bare wool of the Andes that I wanted to do the Christmas color to make a top. That was my big one for this month. That's what I wanted to make. Okay. No, wait, we're not doing that. We're waiting on that because I have to see how this top works up first. If this top works out, then I will do that one, because I don't want to do that Christmas color in a top that is going to be too cold to wear in the winter. Because these tops, I love them. I love them. I love them. The problem is that the yarn's a little too thin to go on the worsted weight. So see how open they are? So these are not, okay, I have summer tops and winter tops. So like this is a winter top because it's got alpaca in it and silk. Those are both warming fibers. They make you warm. What I'm wearing right now is merino alpaca nylon, also warm. It's a DK weight, but it's still warm. So because these are so open, these are not going to be winter wear because they're so open. But if I do the 200 grams on the DK as the DK version, then I will. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I did these in the worsted weight version because they technically are worsted weight, but they're a little too airy for that. So this is a worsted weight that I'm doing on DK. We'll see how this comes out. If this works out, I can't do these though because I only have 150 grams, which isn't going to be enough, I don't think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because it's just when I'm going to wear them. So I took out all my winter tops yesterday. I took out all my winter tops. So I got to put all my summer tops away. I got to wash everything before. Oh, I'm so tired. It's kind of been up at 8:30 in the morning. I got to wash all my summer tops and then put them away for the season. And all my winter tops should already be washed from when I put them away this spring. So if anything needs freshened up, I put some wool wash in a spray bottle with some water and just spray them like it's Febreze, right? And just hang them. That's what I do. Because I don't think they need washing that much. I typically spot clean unless there's something on it because they don't smell or anything. And then at the end of every season, I take the gleaner and then I wash everything. So I should get all my summer stuff ready to put away. Wash all that. Okay. Anyway, I don't have anything else to tell you. And I got to take my Tylenol again. And so next week is December dye project and podiversary. So yay. I have nothing planned for that at all. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's it. He dreaming. You see his feet going? Oh, you can't see his feet going. He dreaming. Okay. Thanks for spending the hour with me. All like 10 of you. I appreciate you watching. I hope you had a relaxing time. I hope you have a fantastic week. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. Bye.